Well, it's February, and it's also my birthday month, but we're actually going to go over some video games I picked up in January. So, we're just going to get right to it. It was kind of a short month, a couple of big things, and some different stuff that I ended up getting just to mix things up a little bit. So first, we're actually going to start with something that's not necessarily a game, but it is game-related. And it's after a year, I finally got the complete Shenmue 3 original soundtrack. This is a 3-disc set from Limited Run Games. And I have like the Kickstarter version, and then I also have the limited one that they released for the game. But this one has all of the music on it, which the other ones were lacking. Either they had half of them, or a quarter of them, or a select of them. So pretty happy now I have this to go with my complete Shenmue 1 set, which is actually sitting behind me over here. Where I've got, you can kind of see the Shenmue statue I got back there of Ryo and Landi. There's actually, hiding back there, the soundtrack for the first game. The second game I have on vinyl, but it's not complete. There's a select song selection from that, but pretty happy still at that, so that was kind of cool. And of course, December was the final 2 releases from PlayAsia for the PlayStation Vita. So end of an era, and I grabbed the last 2 of those. So we have Moose Man, which is kind of a interesting, very laid-back game where you're kind of wandering through, and there's like little puzzles to solve, and it's a very short game, but a lot of people seem to like it. So kind of excited to give that a try at some point. And then this one, Winter's Daydream, which is kind of a unique one. That's a visual novel. So nothing too exciting for the last releases, and a lot of people had some high hopes that PlayAsia would actually release some bigger games, but that never happened. So it's sad, but at least that portion of English releases for the Vita is pretty much over, except for one more, which we'll probably get to, but that's not exactly a new release. I am catching up on some that I missed in the past that I just, for whatever reason, never really picked up. And I'm still collecting imports, which there's only a handful of those that I'm really after, so they can kind of wait. So, moving forward, there probably won't be many Vita releases after this one, so all you people who boo and hiss every time I show a Vita game, you'll be happy now going forward there aren't any of those. Moving on, I found that there was an indie developer doing Dreamcast games, and they released this sort of introductional or episodic epilogue. So it's basically the beginning of their game, which is going to be released later, but they had a demo disc, so this is for Encuentro no Casual, non-casual encounter, which I thought looked interesting. It's kind of another visual novel point-and-click type thing, and people were joking, it says, but intense, in the bottom there. So it's kind of interesting that they used the Japanese design for this, but I'll probably give this a try. I don't know if I'm going to stream this one at some point or not, and then probably the full game when it gets released. So something different, I love picking up little Dreamcast indie games, so. And then the other Vita game I was talking about that I missed on picking up, that was The Bard's Tale, remastered and resnarkled. Just a remaster of the old Bard's Tale game that was released on Xbox. This game can be found on PlayStation, PSN, Xbox, and so forth, but they released in the UK a version of this game for the Vita, and it's all in English. And the voice actor of the main character did Wesley in Princess Bride. So I thought that was kind of cool. So I'm going to give that a shot. But it's one of the ones that I missed out. It's been long released. There was like 4,000 copies of this game made. And I think as the making of this video, there's still some copies available. But for whatever reason, I just never got around to grabbing it. But now I did. So, and that was one set that I wasn't going for a full set for, because there was probably 5 or 6 games released. This is from, is this Strictly Limited? Red Art Games. So there was a couple of them. Some of them are sold out already that I missed anyway, and I wasn't really big on getting those. So, like I said, that's not a set I was worried about. And lastly, kind of a unique game, This was not what was advertised on the page when I got it, but I was looking for unique beat 'em ups, and one of them that was on the PSP popped up, and that was for an anime series called Eastasiasoft, which is kind of a 12 Kingdoms story retold with in modern times, but it's more about these rather exaggerated girls in these different schools around Japan, trying to be the top fighter. If you haven't seen the anime and you're in the mood for something with a lot of fan service, check it out. There was like 4 different seasons of the series. I've actually only seen the first one, and I grabbed it when it first was released back in early 2000. So if you enjoy that type of stuff, check it out. But I never realized they actually released 2 games, and they're exclusive to the PSP in Japan. And they were never brought over here, and they were actually released by Marvelous, who did the Senran Kagura games later on. And you can kind of see that in this game, where they got the gimmicks and everything for that to make that game work. So it was like the aerial attacks and the clothes breaking gimmicks and mechanics, I should say. So I found the first game for pretty cheap, and there's a couple of reasons why it's cheap. One being that it has a replacement UMD case, which I just kind of snapped in half, unfortunately. So it wasn't the original one. I'll probably snap this back together. Yeah. But so you can tell, here's the disc. Normally it's solid white at the bottom. It has UMD PSP on it. So that was one thing, but the game seems like it would work. The other thing I noticed too was that the cover was different on their webpage compared to what they sent me. And they sent me the special edition version that came in a pack, and it came with like an art book and like a little mini figure with like some of the figures in a bowl or some weird crap. But this was only available in that limited edition, and it's kind of fan servicey itself. So yeah, the main character is in towels, but it's a beat 'em up game. So it's not. I heard the second game's actually better than this one, so I may pick that one up later as well. So maybe that'll appear next month. Who knows? But I'm excited. Yeah, I can't even talk today. Excited to kind of give that a try, kind of see where the roots of the Senran games kind of came from. Because some of these characters actually appear in Shinobi Versus on the Senran Kagura series. And some of them also are in Peach Beach Splash, I believe, too, since Marvelous did those 2 games. So, kind of stoked about that, honestly. The anime itself, I mean, it's not great, but it's not really horrible either. So, it's something. I mean, the main character is a complete airhead, but that's what makes it kind of fun. So, other than that, that's pretty much it for this month. So we'll make this nice, short, and sweet. So, yeah. Other than that, I guess, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.